Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah and today I'm going to be talking with you guys about some of my favorite quotes from my favorite books. So this should be a lot of fun. I am such a huge quote person. I like motivational quotes hanging around my room. But regardless, I love quotes and I just want to share with you guys some of my favorite quotes from my favorite books, as I said. Because I love them and they can either give me confidence or just make me feel better about the world. Regardless, so for this I tried to keep it interesting by picking from some of my favorite different series, and then also I tried to not have anything that's too spoilery, but I will put out a potential spoiler warning in case you're really like, I don't want to hear anything from any of these books because I want to read them. That's totally fine, putting those potential spoiler warning out there anyways. So let's go ahead and dive right on in. I have 5 for you today and we should have a good time, so stay tuned. The first quote I want to share with you guys is going to be from Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Montesclaco. So just to give you some context about this, it takes place in Victorian London when Jack the Ripper was wreaking havoc on the city, and it follows Audrey Rose, who's a very headstrong female during this time who's interested in forensic science and assists on the case of Jack the Ripper. So with that, she has to be very strong, but with this she kind of struggles sometimes in her confidence of all of these feminine norms that are pushed on her for being a woman and during this time, but also wanting to pursue her dream of forensic science. So with that, this is a quote I turn to when I'm needing a little boost of confidence that I can be as girly or as pretty as I want to be, but also have brains, pretty much. So, for the quote I'm looking for is on page 144, and it's her cousin Liza who just did her makeup and made her look really nice, and this is kind of giving her kind of a pep talk, and it's great. It is such an amazing pep talk. So, alright. Well, we must show your foolish boy this girl then. I'm sure you'd become an equation he desperately enjoys solving. She tapped my nose. Weld your assets like a blade, cousin. No man has invented a corset for our brains. Let them think they rule the world. It's a queen who sits on that throne. Never forget that. There is no reason you can't wear a simple frock to work, then don the finest gown and dance the night away. But only if it pleases you. I stared at Liza for a few beats, seeing her in an entirely new light. She nodded toward the looking glass again, somehow knowing I hadn't truly seen myself before. My reflection shone back, lit almost as if the heavens themselves were shining down on me. Dark strands of hair were piled atop my head, my eyes more mysterious somehow with the dark liner, and my lips were bright crimson of freshly spilled blood. I was beautiful and dangerous at once, a rose with thorns. I was precisely who I wanted to be. So, as I said, that's just a great little pep talk saying you can be whoever you want to be. You can be light and dark. You can be beautiful and dangerous. You can be smart and gorgeous. Like, it's just a great quote. I love it. I love the whole, like, I'm a rose with thorns. The second quote I'd like to share with you guys is from none other than Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. So this book also takes place in Victorian London about another powerful female named Tessa Gray, and in this case she has this mysterious ability and she is saved by shadow hunters and gets immersed into their world of demon hunting and all that goodness. So with that, Tessa loves books. She just loves them. So the quote I want to read from it is Will and Tessa talking about books. And this is just such a profound, amazing quote from Tessa. Mostly Tessa's part. Not so much Will's part. It's Tessa's part. One must always be careful of books, said Tessa, and what is inside them, for words have the power to change us. I'm not sure a book has ever changed me, said Will. Well, there's one volume that promises to teach one how to turn oneself into an entire flock of sheep. Only the very weak-minded refuse to be influenced by literature and poetry, said Tessa, determined not to let him run wildly off with the conversation. I just love how sassy she is. Tessa's a wonderful character. She's probably like one of my favorite characters of all time. But for that, I actually want just the simplified quote of this, just words have the power to change us, tattooed on me. And I think it is so true. We're like, if you're not influenced by what you read in some capacity, then quite frankly, there might be something wrong with you. I just think books have the power to transform people and morph people into someone more. Someone, not necessarily better, but different, and can see things from different points of view. And I think that is amazing. So that's why I love this quote. The third quote I would like to share with you guys is from The Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. So for this book, it is a story of Mare Barrow, who has red blood, in a world divided by red and silver blood. Red are of those of basically common folk, and silver are those who have special abilities and are seen as royalty, nobles, or just higher up than people with red blood. So with this, Mare discovers that she has an ability like a silver, and it's her getting immersed into this world of courtship and lies, pretty much. So with this one's going to be a very short quote, unlike my other two, and it is found on 114, and so this very pretty special edition. And it reads, "In fairy tales, the poor girl smiles when she becomes a princess. Right now, I don't know if I'll ever smile again." So the reason why I like that quote so much is just the fact that it takes another spin on what a fairy tale is like, I guess. That not everyone dreams of royalty, and considering in a lot of court politics, specifically in this world, and honestly even reality, it's not all smiles, pretty gowns, tiaras, balls, happy endings. It's a lot of hard work. It's, in some cases, it's lies and corruption. So I think this book does a good job at kind of seeing that side of it. I think a lot of fantasy does, but it's not like the fairy tales most of us have grown up with, like Disney fairy tales. I love Disney, don't get me wrong. I'm a Disney fanatic. But happily ever after is just not where it ends. There's a lot of work to it, and honestly, some of those girls may not be happy in the end. So that's why I like that quote from Mare from the Red Queen. And I just hit my head with the book. That's great. This next quote is from my more recent favorite book, and that is Scythe by Neil Shusterman. So the basic premise of this is that humanity has officially achieved a utopian world where dying is no longer part of like a daily life thing. Disease and aging and hunger have been eradicated. Now the only issue is overpopulation, and that's where Scythe comes in to humanely and compassionately glean people to keep the population down. And it follows two apprentices, Citra and Rowan, and their adventures on figuring out this hiddenly corrupt society, if that makes sense. So the quote for this is actually on page 3, so it's really not that spoilery. It's like literally the first page. So with this one, it has some journal entries from scythes or important people of this book. Just some journal entries. And it's great. So, and this is the first one you come across, and I think this describes humanity very well. "As I see it, they're all innocents. Even the guilty. Everyone is guilty of something, and everyone still harbors a memory of childhood innocence, no matter how many layers of life wrap around it. Humanity is innocent, humanity is guilty, and both states are undeniably true." So, for that, I think that quote describes the human dichotomy that our world is in very well. And I think many people have to remember that not everyone's innocent, not everyone's guilty, that there's a lot of morally gray area. I mean, some things are just wrong, some things are just right, don't get me wrong. Specifically in today's day and age, there are some things that are just flat out wrong and bad and evil and guilty, all that stuff. But general population of humans are, there's just no good or bad, light and dark, that there's a lot more morally gray area than there are just the strict dichotomies. So and I think that quote kind of describes that everyone's innocent, everyone's guilty, and just the mixture between those two make up the human population. So that's why I like that one. This whole book gets you to think. There's so many good quotes from this book. You might see this again pop up if I continue to do the series, so just keep that in mind. Highly recommend it. Very good. So for my last quote, it's a little bit more of a lighthearted one, and it is from Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. So the premise of this book is that you have a ragtag team of outcasts that have to perform this incredible heist, and basically they form this family-like bond, and it's amazing. So for that, they are outcasts. Some of these people are even criminals, and in which case they know a lot about the criminal ways. So that's kind of like where this quote's going, but it's funny. I love this quote so much. Kaz leaned back. What's the easiest way to steal a man's wallet? Knife to the throat, asked Inej. Gun to the back, said Jesper. Poison in his cup, suggested Nina. You're all horrible, said Matthias. Kaz rolled his eyes. The easiest way to steal a man's wallet is to tell him you're going to steal his watch. You take his attention away and direct it to where you want it to go. So, after that, the quote gets spoilery, so we're not going to go that far. But basically, it's just telling you to kind of pay attention. And that you kind of have, if you have control of the situation, you have the upper hand. Which is a big thing for these outcasts, that they have to try to have the upper hand at all times for this heist to work. And that's kind of the point he was getting at. Is that you create a distraction of where you want their attention to go, and then you do what you really wanted to do. I just found it funny, the way everybody just responded with different things. It just makes me laugh. Like, it's one of my favorite quotes because it makes me laugh with, specifically Matthias saying, you're all horrible, because they kind of all are, but they're wonderful at the same time. So, yeah, that's that. And that's on page 126, in case I didn't mention that page number. But, yeah, there you go. Alright, so this is the end of the video. Those are the 5 quotes from some of my favorite books. I love them. They're such quotable books, which makes them so great. You may see them again if I do another one of these videos, so don't be surprised there. They're some of my favorite books. And I would like to know what is one of your favorite quotes from your favorite books down below in the comments. I'd love to know. And who knows, it might get me to read that book soon. So no harm in at least trying to convince me to read a book just by a single phrase or a couple phrases. So go ahead and hit that like button if you like this video, or if you like quotes, or if you want to see more of these from me. That'd be great. I appreciate every thumbs up. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well if you want more bookish content from me, such as more bookish quotes. So with that, thank you guys for watching. I hope you are again staying safe out there, and I hope all is well. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!